We're here today with Millie and Becky, who are property managers in our lettings team. So, Millie, can you tell us a little bit about what you do as a property manager?
So our day-to-day life really is maintenance, listening to the landlord's queries, tenants' queries, drawing up the documents, tenancy agreements. It is pretty much anything and everything. Tenants can come to us with any questions, same as landlords. It's just
And you
kind of a bit of
liaise
everything.
between the two, don't you?
Yeah, middleman.
And how long have you been doing it for?
About a year and 3 months now. So
Nearly 2 years.
Do you like it?
Yes, of
Good.
course.
What's your favourite part of the job?
something new every day.
Yeah, the fact that nothing's the same. Like every query you get is going to be different.
Yeah. What's the can you think of any mental ones that you've had before? Has anyone ever broken something, like smashed a window, or does that happen?
Yeah, we've had like people. I've had one where they've locked themselves out and smashed the window to get back in.
Oh my gosh!
They are.
What, instead of phoning you and going, I
Yeah.
need a key, they've just gone through the window.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was about 10 p.m. at night, and he didn't really have much option. He was outside with no phone, no keys, nothing.
Oh no!
We do have emergency contacts though, so
Yeah.
you're not just left.
Yeah.
standing.
No,
not
but
left
he
on your
obviously
own.
just chose not to use
Mm.
said emergency contact and
Yeah.
instead. So what did you have to do the next day then? Just send someone out straight away to get it fixed?
Yeah, board the window up so it's not a security issue, and then have the door replaced.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that
But-
is a wild way to enter.
But it was like a door that had been designed specifically for that house, and so it was like what is it? Is it bespoke? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what you-
bespoke,
yeah, it's one
yeah.
of those. So it cost the
Way
landlord a
more.
lot to replace it because you couldn't just replace that window panel. We had to beat the whole thing.
Yeah, because sometimes you can literally just fix glass, can't you now? If they're like standard windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Oh,
one had
this
the
was a
whole
posh
door.
one.
Yeah.
I know. So in that scenario, it's the landlord that then still sorts it out, even though the tenants obviously...
In some
How
cases,
is that where it kind of gets complicated?
Yeah.
There's a bit of a blurry line as to which way it goes.
Sometimes it's obvious if it's the landlord paying or the tenant paying, but sometimes it is trying to do a bit more digging. And
Yeah.
it's difficult because you don't want to be like, right, you're to blame, you're to pay. 'cause
Yeah.
it's money. Everyone gets a little bit touchy,
Yeah,
don't
I
they?
suppose. And I suppose for on the tenant's part, he felt like he had no choice at the time,
Yeah.
even though he did. But yeah, so what else would you do?
in that sense, it's like the tenant shouldn't have. Well, they had no choice really in the matter, but the door, the lock was actually faulty. So in that case, it would have been the landlord.
Fine. Well, yeah, that makes it a little bit easier.
Makes
then.
it easier, yeah.
And in terms of the like inquiries and stuff that you take when you first get new tenants in a new house, how does that sort of work? So you go out and inspect it. Do you do that? Is that someone
No,
else?
so it gets let, they do the viewings.
and then it's handed over to you guys.
And then it's handed over to
Yeah,
us.
fine.
So we go through all the admin of it really. And then the property inspectors, they go out and do the inventory. So they
Yeah.
check over the property. So we kind of just stay in base. So we kind of oversee everything. Everyone else kind of runs around for us in a
Yeah.
way. But
And then if something goes wrong, they get in touch with you guys, and then you
Yeah.
send the right person out
yeah.
to see them. And how often is something going wrong?
All the
Well,
time.
not wrong, but like obviously things happen, don't they?
Yeah.
So like if lights need fixing,
All the time.
Every
time,
day.
yeah.
We have a lot of queries coming in every day about maintenance issues. It's very fast paced and go, don't you?
And I guess also you're reliant on the people that are able to go out and sort the problem out to be available as well.
Yeah.
And if you're calling them last minute, there's nothing to say that they're able to
Yeah.
make it. And the list of people that we've got that we send, so like plumbers, electricians, we've had those for a while, haven't we? They're like
We use
really
the same
reputable
ones quite a
people.
lot.
So
Yeah.
we've got a good relationship with them. So they will do us some favours every now and then. And
They'll
They're
If
quite
there is a
good. If
last
you
minute.
call them saying this person has a leak, can you please go out? They're normally quite good at saying, yeah, we'll be there in an hour.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
I
quite
guess
good.
if we're giving them all of that business, it's worth it,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it's good for both, I guess, the tenants and the landlords that they know we're sending someone who we've used before.
Yeah, and a lot of the landlords now know the contractors. They say, oh, it's going to be
Yeah.
heating, or, they
Yeah,
know
that's
the
nice.
contractors.
They know it's been like properly looked after
Yeah.
then. So obviously that's a massive benefit to a landlord. But what are the other benefits when they enter into a contract that means the property's fully managed and you guys are looking after it?
It's just less stress for them, really. They know that we're kind of dealing with it, and if we'll only ever come to them if it's a problem that we can't solve. We only really speak to a landlord if it's like, we'll tell them about the maintenance issue, but we'll say, obviously, don't worry, we'll sort it, we'll update you when it's done, kind of thing. Like, it's like they don't have to worry, do they?
Yeah, they can kind of just get on with their lives, really. Like I said, we only contact them if it is necessary. We'll try and sort it ourselves.
And that's a huge plus, isn't it? Because if you've got
Yeah.
other houses that you rent out, but you're kind of the go-to, that's a lot.
Yeah.
For other landlords that are like working and then rent
And having
somewhere
to,
and having to do everything themselves, they must be, if you get the amount of inquiries a day you get, imagine doing it by yourself. And do you think that the difference between having a fully managed property makes a difference for the type of tenants you get in there? Does that have any bearing on it at all? Or do you just I suppose they're already in there, but do you find if they know you're managing it, they look after it better than what they would otherwise?
I don't think so.
Not necessarily, no. I feel like they are more likely to come to us with stuff. So if there is any issues, they are more likely to come to us.
I suppose that is more comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas your landlord, the word's quite scary in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, oh gosh, my landlord, but they're
Yeah.
coming to us, they're kind of the middleman, so they feel they pretty much tell
Yeah,
us,
I
ask
think
us
that's what I was
anything,
trying to
really.
get
Yeah.
to. Do you think they're in a better position to ask, let you know, confess if something's
Yeah,
gone
and I think
wrong?
if they're a
Yeah.
long-term tenant as well, like they kind of know you and like they are just comfortable with you, especially
that
if you
makes
go out
such
to
a
do inspections.
difference.
They're like
Yeah,
so friendly and they just know you. So
when we do inspections, because we know them so much, they're like, oh, do you want a cup of tea? Like,
Yeah.
get some
Oh, that's
biscuits.
nice.
Like, you do form them relationships with
And
them
I guess
as well.
for the tenant's benefit as well, if they're happy to speak to you about stuff, the chances of them not getting their deposit back if they do have to move out are so much slimmer because you've been able to like build that
Yeah.
relationship,
Exactly.
tell them what they need to do to
it's more
get things looking
beneficial.
a little bit better.
yeah.
Do you find often that you're giving people tips on improvement, or generally are most of them really well looked after?
The majority, 95% are well looked after. You get the odd, for example, you go out and do 15 inspections, you might get the one, maybe two that are not perfect, yeah.
That's not bad,
not
really,
not
is
as
it?
they should be, and you just have to, a lot of them, to be fair though, if you say, please can you just do X, Y, Z, they will just do it, and then when you do your re-inspection, that issue's not there anymore.
Yeah, that's
so they're
nice.
quite good at kind of just...
And that's another good thing about you guys going out instead of a landlord, because I suppose the way that they would take it from the landlord may be different to how they take it from you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that makes a massive difference. And when it is like things that you've got to give them to improve, is it normally the same sort of thing? So like I think when we spoke to Joey a couple of weeks back in Honour, they were saying often like gardens sometimes get left behind a little bit, and
Yeah, always.
It's a lot of gardens, a lot of mould that we get where they just...
winter as
they're
well.
winter.
Not
They're sometimes not
ventilating them.
familiar how to clean or ventilate. So I think it is literally gardens, mould, and...
It's hard because it's people's lifestyle, how they live. Like everyone lives differently,
Yeah.
so that's how they live.
yeah, and I guess
live
you're kind
everywhere,
of like
so-
commenting on it away. So I imagine
Yeah.
for you guys that's quite difficult.
You have to be really careful because you can't dictate how somebody lives. You have to we're there to not tell people how they should have their room. We're there to tell people that they need to maintain their room, such as if there's mould, please clean it.
But
'cause
also that is for their benefit as well, because
Yeah.
that can make you really poorly.
Exactly.
yeah.
If you get just like coughs that never ends from stuff like that. So, and I guess also you're going to be the reason that they end up with their deposit again, like I said earlier, because you've given them tips on how to sort it out. I think gardens must be difficult though,
Especially in
what
winter.
what time of year you go out as well, because a garden like now will look so different in 3
Yeah,
months'
exactly.
time.
We kind of, in winter, you give people the benefit of the doubt a little bit, kind of say, like, we don't expect you to go out in the rain and do your gardening, but in summertime, can you just maybe tidy
Cut
it
the
up a little
grass.
bit?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all we ask is that it's as it was when you came in, when you leave, but it is nice throughout the tenancy just to make sure that it's not overgrowing.
I think it's like quite a crucial part because it means the tenant's getting their money back at the end.
Yeah,
and also
for sure.
the landlord's not getting something back that
Yeah.
Yeah,
has
exactly.
been absolutely trashed,
Yeah.
which is a massive plus because if they then need to look for new tenants, they can get people in there straight away rather than having to go in and do a load of work before they go. And as a team upstairs, like how do you feel about working here?
We've got a great team,
Amazing
solid.
team. If somebody's like absolutely swamped with a workload, you'll always have people that will say, right, what do you need? How can we help? What can I do to take the workload off you? We're really good at helping each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's
that's
so
nice.
supportive, and we're really tight knit as well. So that really helps.
I think
Really
it helps
helps.
like working upstairs as well. There's just people around all the
It's
time.
just a
Yeah.
buzz,
there.
yeah. There's always a buzz around you.
Like for me, like going from a small village office to here was like so nice.
Yeah.
Because would spend hours like on my own, which was fine. It's not a big deal, but it's just you really notice like not being on your own when when there's other people around.
Yeah, no, it's really nice.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah, well,
The music blaring.
yeah. Drinks,
Maybe, yeah. a little-
employee appreciation day.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame it only comes once a year.
I know,
know.
gutted.
Once a quarter would be way better, wouldn't it? Any other funny or bizarre stories you've got before we head off? There's got to be something else.
I think
see
there's
so
so
many
many,
houses.
genuinely, there's
Yeah,
so
just-
many.
It's just the norm. Like, we forget it's weird because
It's just
just
normal.
happens.
When it first happens, you're thinking, oh my God. Like, just like going out on inspections and, you know, for a tenant saying they're not going to be home and you just, you know, they say, oh, let yourself in. You let yourself in and they're like asleep in bed. It's the weirdest
Do you
thing.
wake them?
No.
Just close the door and back out
How
you
do
go.
they not know someone's literally just walked in their house?
But they know that we're coming. They acknowledge that we're coming, and they say that they're not going to be home, and then
They're like,
they're
oh,
asleep.
I've had a
Little
lion
snooze.
instead.
had a little snooze.
Yeah, that is
Didn't want to get up
wild.
today.
You just sneak back out.
I'm just close the door.
Oh my god,
No.
Horrible.
that is so
Yeah.
odd. That is so odd.
Other than that, really, no.
Just people sleeping.
Yeah, just people
That's
sleeping.
not bad.
A lot of
You can put
gross
up with that.
toilets.
Gross
Yeah.
toilets.
Yeah, people don't love to leave you a present sometimes.
It's not pleasant.
Treat.
Not a pleasant present.
But you do get some.
Do you have to mention that? Do you take a picture of it? When you take your pictures of everything that you've checked, do you snap it? Like clean your
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So you got to put a comment on and, you know, advise the tenant to what the
So you
products
take
to
the
use.
picture, you upload it to your system, and then you comment so the landlord can see it, right?
Obviously, it depends how bad it is. If it's disgusting,
Yeah.
like really bad, I'm not going to send it to the landlord. Like, but
No.
if it's,
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Opening
still
my
got to
email,
comment
see-
on it.
We've
But-
had some inspections that when you get back, you're like, guys, you need to see this because it's awful. But yeah,
So do you tell a landlord before you go back to the tenant?
it depends what
Do
it
they
is.
get the same report?
They get the same report.
Okay.
The report is again, it's going to the landlord. It's their home. You have to be
Yeah,
sensitive,
of course.
Yes.
and you have to give the tenant a chance. If we see something that is
Gross
not
one
great
time.
or gross or we give the tenant a chance to kind of fix it up. And if they go to the house and it's not in the good way, we'll have to go out and re-inspect it in like 2 weeks and tell the tenants we're coming back in 2 weeks. Please
Sort it out.
Sort it out.
That's what I was about to ask you, actually. So you generally inspect, what, like twice a year?
No, it's twice a month. Well, we do go out and do inspections
But
every
for one house?
Oh,
Yeah.
twice a year.
Twice
sorry,
a year, yeah. So then if you go to one inspection and it's mucky, you'll then inspect it more frequently, or like a time in between the two dates,
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
we'll send the tenant a letter to say we did the inspection, we class it as poor. You've kind of got 2 weeks to
Fix
sort
it up.
fix it. We'll come back out and it needs to be better.
So
Yeah.
it gives them the opportunity and
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it is
good for
only
them.
fair because ultimately it depends who's in there, but you might have just caught them on a bad day.
exactly.
Yeah, and we don't just say kind of get on with it. We kind of tell them what products to use, how they
Yeah,
can
give them
do it. We
advice.
don't just kind of leave
Leave
them
them
and
to it, yeah.
hang and dry. But
Yeah, because if you get like younger people, I guess, and it's the first place they've rented, you just don't know like what they've been taught.
Yeah,
Do you?
exactly.
You
A lot of
don't know
young-
if they're using the right stuff.
yeah.
Or
A lot of our younger tenants, the houses though are like clean,
Yeah, to be fair.
like,
that is
so
because
clean.
of social media.
probably.
That's because they see influencers that probably have like 20
Mrs.
cleaners a
Hinch.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Hinch, Molly May.
Exactly.
It's never like I've never even seen anything on her floor. You see her mirrors are like
I know.
sparkling.
No
So that's
fingerprints.
why.
Yeah,
So that's a good thing, I guess.
yeah. A lot of them are clean.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. But well, thanks very much. Anything
thank
else?
you. Nothing
No?
from me.
Really?
Don't think so.
Fab, thank you.
Thanks for.